So hello DSC community, Vishesh Tripathi this side once again from the Android team. And so today I am back with another video on Jetpack Compose. As I told you earlier that we would be covering for 2 to 3 videos regarding the animations and layouts and basics parts, and then we would be jumping on the state part, and then we would be going on to the building 2 to 3 on-hand projects which you can use anywhere, putting it on GitHub or putting it in your resume anywhere. So yeah, coming to the Android Studio, I won't be writing the code myself, because it would become 1 to 2 hour video if I start writing code and explaining everything. We would be, as I told you, considering that you must have worked on Android before, you must have built some basic applications of Kotlin or Java, and it would be quite easy for you if you have completed that. So yeah. After you have set up your project, you must have been applying the dependencies of the Compose version in both the build Gradle project files and also the application part. You must be seeing that the Compose version has been specified here. The Compose option build features equals to true. So coming to today's application, so today we would be working on the basics of Jetpack Compose. In this we would be covering the state part, the mutable state part. We would be covering how the things change when you particularly apply a content part to a colors part to any particular field or component. So now I would be showing you the application that at the end of this video we would be completing up. We would be linking the GitHub repository link in the description section, and we would be pinning up the documentation for officially from Android. If you want to learn in more deep about this particular application, you can go through the CodeLabs. So yeah, I guess you must be able to see the application that I'm showing up. Yeah. So as you can see, the application works like this. I would be clicking on here, and it would be working like this. And if the application has been clicked more than 6 times, it would change the color to green. But if it has been clicked less than 5 times, less than 6 times, it would remain transparent. So don't worry if you don't get the overall view. We would be working on that shortly. Yeah. So giving you a quick tour of this application, it's not a very big application, it's just a basic hello world application. Everyone starts his or her programming journey with hello world. So you must be seeing that everywhere it's written @composable. So I tell you if I tell you the reason that why it is written here @composable. So the only reason that you must be seen in the screen in Android Studio it is written @composable is because see, whenever we start off with the project, we must imagine a particular tree hierarchy structure that we would be working on. So composable functions do nothing. As you can see, I have at every function I have applied the @composable function. So composable functions are the fundamental buildings of an application built with Compose. The composable function can be applied to any function or lambda to indicate that the function or lambda can be used as a part of composition to describe a particular tree structure in our application. So we would be going order wise, like if you have seen the application, we would first be building the whole application view, then we would be working on the list part, then we would be going on the button part, and it must cover the minor topics that are inside it. So if you don't have any device with you right now, or you don't your PC doesn't support the emulator part, it's not a thing to worry about. If you just want to test the UI, you just have to write the @preview, and you would be able to see your UI at the hand side of your Android Studio. You can go to the design part and you can see it clearly. In my PC, due to graphic error, it's showing like this, but it would be specifically nice in your laptop or PC, whichever you are using. So you don't need to run your application again and again. If you just want to test the UI part, or you just want to check how things work, if you click on them, you have to run that part, because the backend thing cannot be done through just the split version. But yeah, if you just want to check the UI part, it's more than sufficient. So let's start off with the main application. So after setting the app content as my screen content, I have put it like that. You can do anything if you want. If you want, you can put it as my screen, just my screen. But the only thing that you would have to change is here, everywhere you have written my screen content, you would have to change it to my screen. For now, I would let it stay as my screen content. And I would just set it as my screen content. Yeah. So after that, I have started with the main composable function, the fun app. Fun I have named this as my app, and after that we have set the name of this means the application is basic CodeLab theme. So here you can see I have put the surface color as color.green. So you must be thinking, what is surface? So basically the material surface is, central metaphor that is used for material design. When you enter material design, you will realize that there are each surface exists at a given elevation, which influences how the piece of a surface visually relates to other surfaces and how that surface casts shadow. So here I have put that surface color as green. As you must have seen in the application was looking totally green from up to down. So that this is the reason it is looking like that, and we have set that content to that. Now coming to the next part, the my screen content. Here we would be specifying all the content that would occur, that would display in the application when we start off with building the app. So I put the list size here as 1000. You can do it anything, any random number. You can do it 100. You can do it 102. I would set it as 1000 now. It's just completely random and of your choice. So coming to we would be setting a counter state by remember. So basically, what is the mutable state? Yeah. So if you don't know for of a particular component or state you are working in, you can just hover your mouse over that, and you would be able to see what description the Android official documentation shows of it. For now, I would just tell you that mutable state initialize the past value in it, and is a single value holder which reads and writes are observed by the composable function that we have defined. If you have worked on any Kotlin application or Java application, you must be knowing that how it works, like by its name only. And here we would be specifying that the column a column, and we would be filling up with the whole modifier with the fill max height. So coming to what is modifier, the companion object modifier, is the empty default or starter modifier that contains no element. You have to put your ideas into it. It is used to create a new modifier or extension factory files, just like that. And the fill max height itself by its name is telling that you just have to fill the possible content, all possible content that is in the application. You just have to set the height minimum and the maximum height to be equal at the time, and the maximum height would be filled by the fraction of content that you have provided. Now similarly, the weight part, as we have defined that it is going to be 1f, it's totally material design part. So here you can see that I have taken another variable count as the counter state value. Here we would be taking its value and we would be storing it with us, so that we can increase it when in the button part whenever we click the button. Now coming to the modifier part, we would be creating a name list where we would be writing the user's name. For example, I have written hello world. You can write anything. You can write your name. For example, a person name is X. He can write X person to X1 person, just like that. You can change the name accordingly as per your choice. So I would be writing the name here, and I would be giving the divider color as black. The divider is as from its name you can get to know that a line which divides two basically columns from each other. In the application you must have seen I have written hello world #1, and in another line hello world #2. The divider is dividing the both the parts into two surfaces. So we are giving it a color black. Yeah. So coming to the greeting part, we would be covering the as the animate state color. So as from its name you must be getting that the animate state color is used to fire and forget the function for color. For example, as you can see here, it would be if we have selected that function, it would get red color, as you must have seen in the application. Whenever we I would just hover you to the application at the end, and you must be seeing that whenever we click the application particular line, it gets red, and whenever it's not clicked, it's transparent. So we would be putting the text as hello name, and you can put anything in that. I put the padding and background as color. You can choose this as your desired output you want. You can choose this at black, green, red, yellow, anything you want. So coming to the counter part, it's one of the most important backend part that we are doing. So every time the button would be clicked, the counter on click would be increased by 1. Means every time you click the button, at the backend it would be fetching the data that the button has been clicked, increase the number by 1. Yeah. So we would be coloring the button also in a very systematic way, that if the count number, if the button has been clicked more than 5 times, it would be green in color, else it would remain in white color as default, and it would be displaying the text that I have been clicked count number of times. So here you can see the dollar sign that has been put behind count, that is it is put behind to update every time the count button is recalled. So at the end you would be just covering up the whole screen content, and you can just see the display of it here, and you just need to run the application either on your emulator or on or your mobile phone, whichever you are using. So at the end you must have got to know that why we are using composable function to give a desired tree structure to the application part. It works like that. Suppose you as you must have seen, whenever I was coding, I must have thought a overview structure in my mind, that first I would be going on through the whole coloring part, then I would be giving the list widgets the view, for example providing hello world, hello world, hello world, and again, and then I would be going to the button view. I would be clicking the button, and it would display the how many number of times I have clicked the button, and at the end I would be just recalling all the functions to work, and I would run the application. So I have ran the application, and I would be sharing the application in the emulator part right now only. So I hope you are able to see. So yeah, as we have talked that the divider color is black, the whole screen is green except the button part, because we have specifically given it a value of white color whenever it is its count value is less than 5. So I would be clicking the hello world here. As you see, it changes to red because we have defined that in the function that whenever it would be clicked, it would change its transparency to red. Yeah, again I would be doing this, and just like that you can continue the application part here. And coming to the button part, every time you click it, as you can see, it has been updated. The function recalls that yes, the counter part has been clicked, please update me so that I can be fetched again. Yeah. So as you can see, it has been clicked 3 to 4, and after 5 times, if you remember, after 5 times it would get green color as well. So as I click 5 times, it also get green color. So it's just basic conditional statements that we have put in the backend part, and this is how the application would work. And if you just want to run it in your phone, you can do it there. I have even installed the application in my phone as the basic CodeLab theme, the name of the application. And from it I have given it a different color for my application. As you can see here, I have given a very different color to my application, and same happens here. Every time I click the button, it changes its color. After 5 times it turns out to be green. So it's all about how you can manipulate things at the code and make your application more and more better. This was just a basic application. Here you can see I have put the list number as 1000, so you can scroll it as number of times as you want. It would keep going until the 1000 counts have exceeded. You can put it according to yourself. And this was the end of the basic CodeLab that you can gain knowledge through. And after this we would be working on the layouts part, specific layouts, that how they are designed, how to construct an architecture in your mind, and all that. So I hope you enjoyed how to start working with Jetpack Compose and how the Kotlin APIs are fetched. Yeah, I would just hover you here. As you can see, huge number of APIs and libraries have been called from Kotlin's original platform, and it is being used here. The Compose, as you can see, Android X Compose runtime mutable state of that we used before, the composable stuff, the preview part, everything has been called here. You don't need to call it at the beginning of the application part. You just need to call it whenever you are using it. It would Android would automatically give you an option to call it, import it. Yeah. So thank you guys. Stay tuned, and we would be bringing on another 2 to 3 variants of lectures regarding the animation part, the mutable state part, and the theming part. Yeah. So thank you guys. Happy coding.